reset with me. I'm really excited. This is going to be a weekly live until the end of the year. So I just want to check that we are live because I'm streaming off my phone. I just want to make sure that we are all good. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. That sounds on. Okay, testing 1. Okay, fantastic. So welcome to the weekly reset with me. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you're having such a good day. So this is part of my end of the year reset series. If this is not something that you have seen before on my YouTube channel, I encourage you to watch the end of the year reset. There's episode 1, which is about reflecting about the last year really. Get yourself a little cup of tea. I've got a little coffee because my energy is low today, and yeah, we've had really stormy weather here in Vietnam. There's been a typhoon, so luckily it's just past us, which is great. And yeah, so I was just waiting for that typhoon to pass before I started streaming in case of any bad weather. So what is the intention for this weekly reset? So this is live. I can't screen share with you at the moment because I don't want to stream from my laptop because the camera is not great quality and my phone is better quality, to be honest with you. So I thought, do you know what? We're just going to do it my way, obviously. So I've got on one of the episodes, I've done a monthly reset, so an intention for the monthly. So that will be out soon, either this week or the week after, but it doesn't matter where you are. You can use the questions that I'm going to ask you for your own weekly reset. And this is just accountability to ensure that we're staying on track of our goals and that we're understanding the pattern so we can move forward and be better. So this is going to be a weekly reset for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2024. I am reflecting on this previous week first. So yeah, there's a few categories that we're going to get into, and then we're going to reflect first, and then we're going to move forward as to what we're going to focus on this week. So get yourself your pen and papers together, get your laptops ready, and let's go. So the first thing to reflect on is the category of health and well-being. So I'm a big advocate for if I'm not okay, then everything else is not okay. So how have I done this week, or how have you done this week regarding your health and well-being? So I would say I've had a really great and bad week for my health and well-being. So I have started a 2-week shred challenge, which is great. I'm actually documenting the experience, which is quite interesting. Just because I've had a lot of bloated belly, all that inconvenient stuff. So I've been on a very clean diet and exercise routine. So I've smashed those goals. I've worked out every day. I even went for a 5-kilometer run, went for a walk outside. So I feel like in that perspective, I've done great. The issue with what I would say is not great is my morning and evening routines is a struggle. Like I am getting burnt out by screen time. So I am scrolling too much. I'm like literally on my computer, on my phone, on my iPad, far too much than what I like to be on. So I actually would like to take a trip to like the bookstore here. So I have seen that they do have some English books here in Da Nang, and I'm gonna go buy myself a book. I'm actually, for Christmas, I'm gonna buy myself a Kindle. But for now, I need to get away from any digital item in the evening, because what's happening is that I'm struggling to sleep. and I'm feeling drained, and that's what's messing up my routine. So out of the reflection of this week, I would say I would need to really get my 8 hours of sleep in and be more grounded in that. And I think like meditation, introducing meditation back into my routine this week would be a very good asset for me, because like I said, it's just too much. I feel stressed, like I feel exhausted all the time, which is not great for productivity. But yeah, my body's, and I'm also like, it's that time of the month, so my moods and my energy is a real struggle. I've been kind to myself this week, but I've also been like, no. Okay, so the next category is productivity. So in terms of productivity, I've written we need to reflect on the environment, we need to reflect on timing of projects, and when am I the most productive during the day. So my most productivity has been from like midday up till about 9 o'clock in the evening, or I would say 1 o'clock. So I would like to try to change that. So something that I did change that really helped me is that I'm eating no later than 6 o'clock. So that's been allowed me to settle down. But I want to keep a time limit as well when it comes to working on any projects. So before I used to be like, oh, I can start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because I can finish at 10 in the evening. But then to actually allow my body to calm down, it doesn't happen till like midnight, 1 o'clock. And then my mind is like racing. So I've decided to really, I would say there's a time limit on when I'm working, and I need to be able to stick to that 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon, and that's it. We call it a day. But then that means this has all got to do with my morning and evening routine. So in terms of productivity, they all go hand in hand. Okay, then we've got where. So I've really enjoyed today. I actually went, not today, this week on Friday, I went to a coffee shop and I went to go work there. So I definitely am going to be doing this, getting up in the morning and going to grab like a cup of coffee to go work somewhere else. The issue that I have working in this room is I don't have the chair that I'm sitting on is not comfortable for me to work here. So I either need to find a comfortable chair or limit the amount of hours because it's hurting my lower back, which is not good. So that's something to work on this week, is location. But we're definitely going to go to different coffee shops. I think changing up the environment and working for 4 hour spaces, I feel. And I think that's going to really help my productivity. Then timing, I started to use Toggle. So I don't know if anybody uses this, but I started to actually track the amount of hours it's taken me to do different activities, so that when it moves forward, I can start to plan better. Now, I'm not going to reflect on the timing of my projects. I'm going to only reflect on those timing of the projects at the end of this month, so that I can see, okay, that's how much time I spent on this, that's how much time I spent on that. So in terms of productivity, it's great. And also I would say tools. I've got a project manager, which I started to use, which is great. And I've got a content calendar, which I'm also started to use. So those two just needs to be implemented a bit more. I use them a bit at the end of the last I use them a bit, but I can definitely maximize that. So the start of the week, okay, what needs to be done, let's go. So that's technically something I do on like today, is having a plan with me, like for 1 hour, basically writing down all the tasks in the to-do list. But this kind of weekly reset is that we're going to see what tasks needs to complete this week, and then we can then start to put it in this amazing tracker. And then from the tracker, we can start to wake up and go, right, I've got this 4 hour period, what needs to be done. And in terms of separating my work, so I'm going to do client work in the morning. So 4 hours of client work in the morning, 4 hours of my work in the afternoon. That's how I'm splitting up my day, is client work comes in the morning and then mine in the afternoon, unless there's a big project where the client needs to take up the whole day, and that's how I work with that basically. And then obviously the other day I work a full day on myself, but that's ideally the point, is that I can do 50-50. Okay, so we got productivity out the way, we got health out the way. So now let's look at the different projects. What projects did I finish this week? So I've got a list of my projects. So just to recap, you will see this on my the video that's coming out for my monthly goals, but obviously I haven't launched it yet because I'm literally spending so much time video editing, it's unreal. So I've got this Lornaton program, which is all about freelance digital marketers, which I'm creating. I haven't done any of that this week, and that's on one of my goals, is basically I need to work on this project 8 to 10 hours per week. Okay, then the portal, which is my learning hub, again I have to create. So one of the tasks, these are the tasks that I set out for these projects. It was finish the project, finish the MVP, and every month build. So just actually finish the MVP, then start to create a content calendar and sales funnel for it, and work on this project so that I've got a time limit. So at the moment we need to get the MVP sorted first. Okay, that's important. So I haven't done that. The portal, so the portal is another learning hub that I've got, which is for my business. It's very much like digital marketing. I've had a lot of ideas, to be honest. With both projects, I've spent voice noting on my phone ideas for it. Okay, but we need to get out of that habit. We can still idea, but we need to implement. So that's like, I have done a bit of work, but in terms of creative thinking around it. So both of them I need to, so I would say my task for this week is to outline the MVPs for both of them, and then also to do a sales funnel and a content calendar for both of them. That's the task of this week. And then I need to figure out how many hours I need to dedicate for each one, but I'm not going to know that until I understand my tasks of the week. Okay, so that's the task of the week. So we're reflecting, and then we're creating tasks of the week. So sales funnel. Okay, so I've literally got, I'll show you, I haven't finished it though. So on this side we've got a list of our what I'm going through today. Oops, sorry. So I've got these little, so the categories are health, productivity, projects, clients, learning, monetization, any news to celebrate, and then testing. What have I tested? And then this week we'll then lay out what's the priorities out of what we've learned this week, basically. Okay, so then the next project, I'm gonna skip that, is Tasha J. Cole, this channel. Content plan, SEO content, end of the year reset series, 1 video a week, finish the website, finish portfolio. Okay, so the positivities that I have done this week with this project is I have actually launched the reset video, and I'm doing a weekly stream. So this basically, what I'm doing helps feed into the Lornaton program, which is fantastic. Okay, so I would say my biggest achievement this week is finishing and getting the series launched. So the only thing I would say from that is then the short form content that needs to work with it. But I feel that we'll get into short form content in a minute. Okay, so what I would like is this week I need to just finish the next video, and I need to actually I need to start adding marketing, and I also, so I'm gonna back up here because I tend to think and finishes my half my sentence when I talk. That's what just happened there. So this week, like I said, I went to go run outside, and through this running I was with my phone, and I was like literally talking on my phone and going, okay, cool, Tasha, this is the idea, this is what I want to do, this is what I do, this is what I want to do. So I got so many ideas, which is amazing, but now we have to put this into a content calendar. So this links into the portal and with Tasha J. Cole and the Lawnington program. So what I'm using Tasha J. Cole platform is to help entrepreneurs and freelance digital marketers. Okay, so you get behind the scenes of what I'm doing to build my career and how I'm keeping myself accountable as being an entrepreneur or digital marketer or podcast host, or the behind the scenes. You're getting here the raw me, and basically 99% of the time which I focus on is this. And for a long time it's been one of my dreams to be able to show everybody like what I'm actually up to, because I feel like half the time people don't know. So anyway, so I decided that I'm going to create a series. So I'm going to go through all my videos and when I started, because I document everything literally. Like, I love content creation. I love YouTube. YouTube is like my favorite platform, and I believe in it so much in terms of return on investment and building community, all the good stuff. And also the way YouTube's going now, it's the place to be. So I landed up, I want to go start a series called how I became a digital marketer, and then through that I give you all the different processes. But something important is that my target audience group is helping, because I've launched 2 successful internships now for freelance digital marketers, especially for the global majority. So for me, I want to give a little bit more tips and a bit more information and have my content a little bit more searchable. So it's giving a bit more insight as to like what is the persona of a digital marketer, why should you go and study a marketing degree, what have I learned being a freelancer in my first year, is being a freelancer worth it? So like all these content tips I want to be able to do. So I feel like this week I should, because I've got quite a lot, I know I've got quite a lot on this week. So I feel like on top of what I'm doing here, I want to create a landing page so that if someone's interested in freelancing as a digital marketer, they can start to sign up to my email list. And once I have finished the product, the MVP, then I can then notify everybody. But in the meantime, whilst I'm doing all these videos, is that if people come across me already, they can go straight into signing up and their interest about the subject. Because I know this is going to be an ongoing project. So yes, so what I need to do this week is get a landing page and get a content plan ready, I feel. And then we need to see if there's time to work on the website as well, because I feel like I would need to put some information there. That's important. Okay, so then the next one is podcasts. I am really excited. I actually did launch a podcast episode this week. So, in terms of editing, I track my editing. I was spending like 4 hours editing. So you can imagine, out of the days, if I'm working 5 days a week, then 2 of the afternoons I have spent editing videos. and making short form content. Like I spend 4 hours doing short form content. So that's why it's important for me to manage my time, because I need to then optimize that editing, and it needs to be done quicker basically, because it's not really optimizing my schedule, is it? So I feel that I want to have, like I said to you, that afternoons is like, okay, get this done. So ideally tomorrow I would like to get like Wednesday's content done out the way, and then Tuesdays get Thursday's content out the way. And yeah, it's this is a very much new to me. That's why I'm doing these weekly resets. This is a new system I'm putting in place, and to be honest with you, I do have I feel like I'm low-key got, I don't know, yeah, I'm definitely autistic, but I feel like I've got a little bit of ADHD. So sometimes concentration is so difficult. Like sometimes I get into something and then I can do it obsessively, and other times I'm just like, I'm out of it. So we're trying to control this situation. We're trying to control it, okay? So with the podcast, we've got an episode out. I'm trying to do it on a weekly basis as well. And one of the things, we'll get into the testing in a minute because I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, yes, I have a podcast. I have the 4 episodes, and something that I did actually increase in this is I have, because for me, how am I going to keep this podcast every week and sustainable? And how am I going to integrate it so that it actually is valuable? Because I'm paying to host the podcasting on RSS. And you can find the RSS link in my video description if you're looking to do a podcast. But that distributes to like every platform, like Apple and whatever. And I started to really project managing this and how much needs to be done with the podcast, because if I'm honest, the podcast is a very like what I realized about this project, it made me feel so happy and so good, and I felt so alive when I got to distribute it. I even sent it to one of my clients who's featured on the podcast. It's going to be there next week. She loved it as well. So for me, it's about getting back on it, and I celebrated my 1 year podcasting last week. So for me, this is like what I love to do, and I can't wait because I'm traveling back to the UK and I'm going to be interviewing people. So I started to think, okay, what topics can I research, who can I interview, and things like that. So I definitely want to finish the content plan, because we've got some, it's basically going to be amazing, right? I just want to be consistent. I think my biggest goal, like it's on here to stay consistent, is I want to stay consistent for a year and not miss an episode. Like, and that started last week. Like, I only was 4 months consistent because of my personal things that was going on in my life, but we need consistency. We just need consistency. Okay, so that's the projects out the way. Then clients. So I've had good news. One client. So at the moment, I've got a social media I'm managing for Mrs. India Legacy. Then I've got another one which, I've got a strategy that I'm putting together for a e-commerce illustration company, and that's on the priority list for this week, is to finish the strategy and then have a meeting. So I need to make sure I get on top of that. And then I also have just had confirmation of this a fashion brand campaign that I'm doing this period that they've asked for. I must be very mindful of how much information I share on here, but basically I've got one campaign, I've got one content, one strategy for e-commerce, and then illustration e-commerce, and then I've got another one which is content strategy, and another one for I'm implementing social media. So I just need to finish the social media. I had very bad energy this week, so I couldn't really finish it. So I'm halfway finished. So I think I'm going to try to finish it tonight, to be honest with you, so that I start my week off and that's completely out the way. I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And there is a new client coming in. I've had 50% confirmation with that. So I have another campaign to do, which is really exciting for me. So on the client perspective, I am great. My priorities is these two clients, get that done by Monday. So Monday is all about client work, basically. Okay, so then we've got learning. So learning is another field where I actually found 2 videos that I want to watch. One is about AI and the other one is about digital products. Just because I am going to be creating my digital products, I just want to see if there's anything I'm missing. Basically, I tend to do this a lot. And I want to try to add to my weekly routine, because something that I do like to do is I'm a doom scroller a little bit, but for me, if I can just do these doom scrolling moments where I'm learning a video rather than watching something meaningless to my week, then that will be fine for me, because I'll be squeezing in like an hour of learning then at least. So I've done no learning. Have I done no learning this week? I found some learning items. So there's 2 YouTube videos I want to do. And I swear I found something out. Okay, whatever. So then we've got basically Instagram automation and AI prompts. So Instagram automation is important. So the learning for this week, just making my little sticky note. So the learning that I want to achieve this week is Instagram automation, and that I want to do 1 hour every day. Yeah, because that's a must for my campaigns. Okay, then we've got monetization. Okay, wait. Coming back, something what I want to do is also learn Snapchat Spotlight, because my demographic of clients is they don't have TikTok. Like India doesn't have TikTok, but they have Snapchat. So I want to tap into that there, and also Threads. How can I optimize Threads? Okay, so monetization, and this has got to do with like affiliate marketing. I've done nothing for it. So we have to have at least 2 hours put in this week. So I'm going to put 2 hours because like I said, I've got quite a busy week. It's just been really difficult. Ooh, and I forgot about one thing about a client. I've got another client that is in Italy, and I need to send over some SEO for her because she's got a web developer there, and I need to get that over ASAP. So SEO and book in a 1-to-1 for the next week. Okay, so monetization, at least 2 hours. Okay, then we move on to the coolest thing is celebrating any news. So is there anything unexpected that I achieved this week? So yes, I am so happy. I actually got an email from so I used to do content creation for this music organization in Wales, and they help educate 16 to 25-year-olds on how to make it in the music business, basically. And for those of you who know or don't know, I DJ, but I used to do it more. I used to DJ quite a lot around the world between 2009 to 2017, 18 as well, up to 2018, I think, and 19. I think from 2020, things, obviously because of the big thing that happened, I don't do it as much. That's how from 2020 I kind of went into back in like marketing, and I had to find other ways to monetize myself, etc., etc. So I still have a big love for the music industry, basically, and that's why I love to help creatives, because I'm really good at it. So anyway, so basically I'm working on a product basically for musicians, but they reached out to me because they've got some more funding to create new content. So I did email follow up last week, but I need to get another email out this week just to follow up. So follow up, especially because I'm back in the UK at the end of the year. So then we also I got an invitation for a press release that a university wants to do on me about it's for Global Entrepreneurship Week, which is quite a big thing for me. Last year for Global Entrepreneurship Week, I did a full podcast episode, and I actually listened back to that this week. It was so cool, because what happened is I thought about it. I was like, oh my goodness, last year this time I was really beating myself up about creating minimal viable products, like launching events without actually knowing my audience, or actually giving it like because everybody else was doing, I thought I had to do it, and I beat myself up. And then I had this amazing session with Neil Crocker, and we discovered the MVP, and then life just made sense after that. So it's crazy how a year later that I'm in a whole different mindset, and I'm actually working, like literally implementing my MVP now, which is just wild, because I finally get it. Before I was stuck mentally. Usually when my mind doesn't logically get something, it really makes me crazy. So anyway, there you go. We snap for being amazing. So yeah, I'm going to get featured this week. There's going to be an article that's going to be written about me, and not this week, but when Global Entrepreneurship Week is. When is Global Entrepreneurship Week, actually? Global... the 18th to the 24th of November. So I definitely need to try to get a podcast episode for that as well. A reflection 1 year later where I'm at. That would be really cool for that. Okay, so then we've got and then obviously I want to celebrate the new possible client, because the new possible client is going to be it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And I just, I've just been chipping away in the background, doing my thing. So I've got a lot to prove. But I feel like I've acquired so many skills. That's why I want to share with you everything that I've brought to this week. But I've acquired a lot of skills that's led me to this point, which is exciting, but it's also like, because now you've got to show up and do the work, and you've got to get the results. So yes, then we've got a testing category. What am I testing this week? So, sorry, I just want to write that. Sorry, 1 second. testing. What am I testing this week? What have I tested? Okay, so something that has brought my attention is Threads. So with my podcast, I wanted my podcast to be a little bit more engaging to the audience this time around. Last time I just didn't have the mental capacity to think about it, but this time I do. So what's really cool about it is I got to test post. Like, I want to try to get the audience to have like a topic of the week or something, or some type of question of the week, which usually each episode has a question of the week. But I want to add something into the thread, like to create conversation. So I started to test out different things. So what happened this week is that I had a bit of like business life frustrations, and I was like, does anybody have this frustration? So one of them, for example, is WhatsApp does my head in, because WhatsApp has become the new email, and for me it's like, but I don't want to always be available to my client because I'm not available. Like, I'm managing so many firstly, I'm contracted for different hours and I cannot be available all the time. That is a fact. So for me, I was like, does anybody experience this? Like, how does people manage this? So I thought, okay, let me try to put this like online. But I feel like I don't know how to. I feel like I'd rather need to video myself asking the question and then putting it online. Or I've tried to put it on LinkedIn and Threads, basically, is the conversation. I've tried Instagram a little bit, but Instagram is it's a test. So these 3 platforms that I'm doing this conversation testing, and it comes from the Shits and Gigs podcast that they do, which is really cool. And then I thought to myself, okay, with this I want to find like different like research about it a little bit. So that's pretty cool for my podcast. I really like that. So I did test on Threads. It has been working, and now I'm integrating Threads into one of my strategies for my campaigns as well, which is great, because again, it's finding. I just feel like if you just like something at the moment that for me best with strategy, and this is what I will talk about in a podcast future episode, but it's like Instagram and Facebook is not just it. There's other platforms. So how can we tap in? And I think what came into my mind with this was there was a Threads pop-up of this person making more revenue through Threads, and I was like, well, if they can do it, why can I not? So I love it. I'm just testing it out. And at the moment, I've got 2 people engaged on my Threads. That's good enough for me, because that's great results for my first week of testing. I've only got like 7 followers on my podcast, so keep it flowing, right? Then Shorts. LinkedIn this week has actually launched their video. So they've got the whole streaming short form content on LinkedIn now, on your app, on your phone. And from this, I was like, cool, all of this information that I'm talking about now, I would love to talk about in a weekly episode on my portal, like what's hot and what's not. I think I should just live stream it like I'm doing now, so I don't have to video edit. The problem with me is that I don't have a lot of time to edit, because at the moment I've got content for this channel, content for the portal, which is like the learning hub. Then I've got content for what's it called? For Miss Kif, which is my content creation, which is actually has like, we're nearly at 2,000 subs. So it's more my lifestyle, the back end. And I've just launched another YouTube channel, which is ridiculous. I need to stop launching YouTube channels. Is Tasha Jade, and that's about my health journey, to be honest with you, because there's a lot to share and it's important. So and my podcasting channel. So for me, I don't have, like, if it's going to cost me 4 hours of editing, I just don't have the time. It's just going to consume my life. So live streaming is such a good offset, because I was going to pre-record this weekly reset, but no, it's better than basically eventually I would like people to join my live and we chat at the end, you know what I mean? Like everybody can ask me questions of, you know, or write in the chat, and you know, it's more interactive or something. So anyway, I want to test, that was like such a tangent. I want to test more shorts. I have been testing shorts this week, but I want to test more shorts because it's, yeah, something that I invest in this week was Metricool for scheduling. So I'll link in the video description about Metricool. It's something that I used a lot last year, but I didn't have any content coming out yet, so I had to like really postpone it, but now I'm using it a lot. So you've got all the tutorials is on the portal, which you'll see there, and then I'll link all the links over here so you'll see behind the scenes. And I've recorded some behind the scenes this week about me being productive as an entrepreneur or digital marketer. So you've got a bit of behind the scenes, and also with this reset you've got a little bit of behind the scenes as well. So that's kind of it really. So we reflect on each of these categories. So you create your own categories, okay? So personally, if you can follow mine, which again is health, productivity, which products, like, so you want to work on how you keeping productive, like what's winning and what's not winning, how can you improve on for moving forward. So for a big thing for me is having a morning and evening routine, moving this forward. Then you've got projects, clients, learning, monetization, celebrating anything that's come in, testing, and then there should really be another one of business development, okay? So I'm going to actually put this here, business development. So I do actually have some ideas, but I'm not going to really implement them this week. But I do have a few business development ideas coming up. But I don't need any business developing this week. I've got a lot to implement. But I would say in the next couple of months, definitely, yes. So priorities this week is getting myself a morning and evening routine, finishing my client work in the beginning of this week, make sure that I'm getting on top of editing sooner rather than later, and learning, developing my content calendars, my MVP, and spending at least 2 hours on monetization, and that's basically it. Testing as well. So to wrap up before we end, I have these little stickers. So I'm gonna have a theme of the week. This is like a little quotes, I would say. So there's like, a dream is, I'll show you actually on the screen. So I've got this over here. So I want to see, always be on the lookout for the presence of wonder. It's the little things that make life big. The impossible is often the untired. Do what you love what you do. Be authentic, hold tight, and pretend it's a plan. Let it go. You can do anything, but not everything. I actually love that. You can do anything, but not everything. So I'm a reminder that I don't need to do everything this week. I just need, I know I can do it all, but I need to prioritize what needs to be done. That's what I'm taking out of that message. You can pick whatever one you want to. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I'm so glad I did it. And I'll be doing this weekly, okay? Weekly, every Sunday. I will try to announce it next time. I was actually feeling a little bit stressed before. So yeah, anyway, I hope you have a great week. And there will be a video out this week which is about vision board for the end of the year series. If you haven't seen that, please go watch it, and I'll see you next Sunday for a live stream. Every week until the end of this year, I'm doing a live stream unless I'm traveling, okay? If I am traveling and I'm in the airport, I'll live stream if I can, you know, but if I'm flying up in the air, then I can't do a live stream. But no, I'm really excited for this. I will link all the links in the video description. Please subscribe. See you next Sunday. Ciao, ciao.